Hello guys, welcome to the YouTube channel Some Hard Code, where we explore various technologies for building software. In this series, we are going to learn how to use Vue.js. This series is geared towards absolute beginners. If you have not used any framework before, this is the series for you. And Vue is what we are going to be looking at. So Vue.js is a front-end JavaScript framework. As you can see here, this is a progressive JavaScript framework, and it is used in the Vue layer of building applications for the web. So it's used for building user interfaces. Okay, so that is what Vue.js allows you to do. There are other JavaScript frameworks you can use, like React, Svelte, Angular, but we are looking at Vue in this series because it is easier and simpler to use, and the learning curve is also very much lower than the other frameworks. Although in future series we will take a look at all those frameworks too. Alright, so I just want you to stick with me and then go through all of the series, and at the end you will know how to build user interfaces in JavaScript. To follow this series, you need to know how to code in JavaScript. Okay, you need to be familiar with JavaScript. You don't need to know everything there is to know about JavaScript. JavaScript is a huge JavaScript and its ecosystem is a huge universe. Okay, so basic familiarity with JavaScript, if statement, for loops, arrays, how to declare variables, okay, and then how to use the DOM. You know, this is good for what we want to do. All right, so to use Vue.js, you need to install Node.js. Okay, Node.js is JavaScript on the server, but we need Node to be able to install some packages and all of that. We are not going to look at JavaScript on the server, all right? But to use Vue, we need to install Node. So to install Node, just go to Google and type here Node.js. Okay, so Google for Node.js, and click on this first one over here, nodejs.org. Very good. Then click on this one to download it. Okay, so once it is done downloading, it's just like any other software. You can just install it on your system. It's not difficult to do. I have it already installed, so I'm not going to install it again. Okay, but once you download it, you can install it just like any other software you install on your computer. Alright, so I'm going to cancel that. Then to install Node.js, to install Vue.js, like I said, you need Node. Okay, Node comes with a tool called npm, Node Package Manager, that allows you to manage the packages, okay, packages that Vue needs in order to work well. Alright, so we need to run these commands in our command line. Okay, so what you need to do is to create a folder on your machine that we are going to use for the project we are going to do. So create a folder here, going to name it Vue projects. Okay, and then now over here where the file path is shown, you can just clear everything and then type cmd, and it will open the command line here. If you've not used the command line before, please don't be scared. It's nothing too difficult. And then after all, we are going to use just a few of the commands, a few basic command line commands. So now that we're here, you need to copy, right? Copy all this and then paste it here and press enter. Okay. What this is going to do, it's going to set up the project for us. Okay, and it's very easy to use. So you need to type the project name, what you're going to call the project. I'm going to call it to-do list view. Okay. Do we want to add TypeScript? No, TypeScript is a typed version of JavaScript. What that means is that it adds type checking. Okay, so basically it's able to detect errors. It's able to minimize the errors you do in your app, and you are able to catch errors while you are coding your app rather than in production when your app is running. So it's very easy to use, but we are not going to add it to this project, okay, because that is not what it is about. So I'm going to choose no, and JSX no, view router no, we don't need that now. We will add it as we go on, and then no. So basically choose no for everything. Right, so now that is a setup, all we need to do is to follow these steps. So we do cd to do list view, right, and npm install. Alright, so npm install will install the packages that Vue needs. Okay, now what are those packages? Let's go and look inside our folder here. This is how the project looks now. Now npm, like I said, is a package manager. Okay, so packages are just code that other people have written that you can use within your project. And for npm to know which packages to use, it looks at this file. Okay, it's called a package.json file. So let's open it and see what's in there. Very good. You can use any text editor of your choosing, but I'm using VS Code. Okay, so this is, let me increase the font size. These are the dependencies we need in our project. So we need Vue, and then we need Vite, and these are known as dev dependencies. Okay, so these dependencies, we only need these packages while we are working actively on a project on our local machine. But these dependencies we need them in both local on our local machine and in production as well. So when we're done with the project and we put it online, we build a project and put it online, we are going to need this package, but we are not going to need these ones. Okay, so these packages, these dev dependencies, will be stripped out of our projects when we we build it, and we build it for production. That is when we put it online. Okay, so let's see the progress. Right, so we've installed them. It doesn't take long. We've installed it. So now all that we need to do is to npm run dev. Okay, now, but before we do that, I want to open the project in VS Code. So what I'm going to do is to type code dot to open a new instance of VS Code with projects at the root. Okay, so this is what we have. So we are going to go to what these are quickly, the projects folders and file quickly, and explain what each one of them is doing, and then we will call it a day on the introduction. So we have this folder called node modules. This is where all our packages are kept. Now you can see there are a lot because the packages depend on other packages as well. So it just goes like that. If a package needs another package, it installs it as well. And if those packages need other packages, it installs those. So these node modules is what we have here. So normally we don't put this folder in production because it's usually large. Okay, so when we build, we don't put this in production, and we don't put this in Git control as well. That is version control. So maybe on GitHub or on GitLab or whatever you choose to use, we don't put this folder there. That is why we have this git ignore file here. If you are familiar with Git, if you are not, that's fine. Maybe in the future we will look at it. There are other videos on YouTube as well that introduce Git. You can go and watch those as well. But what this git ignore does is that it allows you to exclude files and folders you don't want to put on GitHub or GitLab or whatever version control you're using. So you can see we have node modules here, right? So it means that the node modules folder won't be put in production or won't be put in our version control, whatever platform we are using for version control. Then we have this public folder here. Now this public folder is where we are going to keep all our assets, all our public assets, all our static assets like images, like CSS files. We can keep them here, but there is also a way of keeping them in this folder as well. All right, so this public folder is where our static assets can be kept. Our icons can also be kept here as well. Then we have this source folder. This source folder is where all our code goes. Okay, so this is where we are going to be writing code most of the time. So you can see we have this app.vue files, and then we have this component. We will look at all of these, but this is where our code will go most of the time. All right, and then like I explained earlier, this is the package.json file where our dependencies are kept, and then our scripts are also kept. We'll explain the script. When we downloaded and installed the packages, you can see we have this npm run dev over here. Now this run dev corresponds with this. Okay, this dev script over here. So what this does is to start a server so that we can access our project while we are building it in our browser. We can look at it. VS Code allows us to start a terminal. So let's start one. So we have an integrated terminal here, but I don't want to use PowerShell, so I'm going to use command prompt. And delete this one. Now I'm going to run npm run dev right here. and right, so it will start our server for us. Very good. So now we can access the project on this URL. So I'm going to control click it. Control click. All right. Very good. Open multiple instances. So now this is how our project looks like. So it's running on our local machine on this port. Okay. Right. And then so what I'm going to do is that in this app.vue folder, and no, it's not a folder, it's a file. So in this app.vue file, this is where what we are seeing on this page is coming from. Okay, so I'm going to remove everything. Okay, and then when I remove everything, every change we make is automatically applied and updated in the browser. So now we don't have anything. Then what I'm going to do is to add the template tag, template, and then I'm going to add a paragraph that says hello Vue. Now that is what we have here. Okay, so our installation is working, and then I think this is good introduction for the series. All right, bye bye. Thank you for watching.